Hey, P2, do you want to hear some trivia?
Oh, mate, I love a good game of trivia.
Guess what happens when a chook and two pelicans get together?
What's that, mate?
A clucking good time. That's right, you pelicans. The wobbly chook has jumped on board, keeping the bird presence strong. Whether you like a pale ale, brown ale, IPA, or a lager, the wobbly chook has you catered. Crafted from Yamba's finest chooks.
Better still, Mick, how do we get some wobbly chook?
That's easy, P2. Jump online at www.wobblychookbrewingco.com or pop into 26 Cole Street in the heart of Yamba.
And have a clucking good time.
Cluck out.
Cuckoo! Always remember, don't be a mud gudgeon and drink responsibly.
Welcome back to another episode of the Two Pelicans podcast. So you would have just missed that.
G'day, you Pelicans.
Here he was. You were sort of hung up on his
Go and have a good time with them a bit later on.
Pelicans landing in 3, 2, 1.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Two Pelicans podcast. I'm Mick.
I'm Bo.
And we are the Two Pelicans here once again to make fishing great. Once again, one cast, one throw, one yarn at a time. And today we've had a bit of a venue change. We're down at the Brushy.
Yeah, down at Brushy Pub.
Yeah, you never know where we're going to pop up. So, no, it's just been an interesting few days. Look, we've been on tour. We've been around, we've been to Evans Head. We've been to Yamba. And another hint there about the Yamba one. Oh, shit. That just went all over the laptop. That's good. Anyhow, we're going to bring you them stories hopefully next week anyhow. So whenever this is, the week after. Whilst I'm at the Flathead Classic, repping the Flathead Classic shirt on there, the 30-year one. And, mate, what's been doing?
Still getting over QFFT from the weekend, man. She was a big week. She was big 3 days. The old 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock starts. Was a bit of a reality check for the old body.
It would be.
And that is it hit me hard this time. But
it
was always fun catching up with the boys and a couple of the Queenslanders that made the trip down and that.
Yeah, okay.
Shout out to MJ, Sean Fackenhausen, and Brooksy and Johnny Sancio. They showed that they can fish a river really well. So,
yeah, right. So the boys went pretty good then?
Yeah, a couple of Queenslanders did really well.
Now, I looked at the photos there and look, there was some nice fish. Who sort of won the whole thing? And it was obviously a State of Origin. Did you get to the bottom of who actually won that round for State of Origin?
Yeah, no, so we know. Yeah, New South Wales.
New South Wales, righto. There you go.
Yep, go the Blues. So, yeah, we wrapped it up as we probably should have in Two Rivers. Brian Everingham and Phil Nix took out the win, and that they did really well. They had some really nice bags.
Yeah, right. No, look, I spent a weekend around just flapping around like a pelican that I am.
Yeah.
A lot of sporting grand finals on the weekend, so but snuck away for a quick little bass fish on Sunday. Got a few, happy about that. And this weekend we head up to the Gold Coast for a bit of a pre-fish / pre-liver examination. But look, it's something that the guys and I have been doing now for a few years, and we can't wait to get up there and have another crack at it. Every year we learn a little bit more about the place and where to fish and the timing of the tides and how the water flows and the points and all that. So we're learning quite a bit there, but I think this is our maybe 4th or 5th year doing it. So, hopefully this year, or for me personally, I'm just looking to bet at 84. Yep. That's, you always want to go try and bang a big one up there. And, that's sort of the plan that I'm going to hopefully stick to. So, anyhow, I think we'll just move straight into it today because it's sort of a little bit compressed for time. And I'm just going to get Bo to wrap this number in. Just bear with us. You right there?
Yep.
And if I cough a little bit through this podcast, I do apologise. I've had a dry cough for the last 3 or 4 days, and I feel fine. But anyhow, it just seems to be happening to me. So anyhow, we'll get this guest on now. I'm pretty excited to get this guest on for the timing, obviously, of the Flathead Classic. It's So,
Hello, Bo speaking.
there we go. Hey, Bo, it's Mick here and Bo from the Two Pelicans podcast, mate. How you going?
Hey, good, thanks, fellas. How are you?
Good. Now, you were actually sitting right on your phone because normally when we ring people, usually it sort of rings right out. So we've got enough time to do a bit of an introduction before you pick up. But you're on the money.
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's all good, mate. It's all good. Hey, look, I was just saying that now everyone that's sort of in the fishing scene, especially up in the Gold Coast, probably knows who you are. But anyhow, tell us who Bo is. Tell us how you're tied up with the Flathead Classic, and I guess give us a little bit of an insight, which what's happening this year.
Yeah, sure, mate. So, like I said, anyone who knows me up here, mate, knows that I love chasing the flatties and definitely love entering the Flatty Classic, mate. I've only done it a few times myself, to be honest, but I've jumped on the committee now as well, so it's great because I kind of get to see everything behind the scenes, which is a real eye-opener, seeing how a big event gets organised. And, mate, I'll be honest with you, I'm on the committee, but it's not like I'm high up. I probably set the chairs up more than anything else. No, look, mate, it's going to be another great year. So we're a little bit worried about team numbers at the start of the year, mate, but they've really come in strong towards the end. So
yeah, okay, all right.
Fantastic comp.
Look, let's talk about over the years now. Your team's done, I think, over the last few years exceptionally well. Give us a little bit of an insight without giving too much away, but give us a little bit of an insight about how you guys approach these sorts of comps, because obviously, you know, there's close to 300 boats, I think, from memory, that enter. Now it's the sea, up towards the jumping pin through back to the seaway and everything in between. There's a lot of water, right? But you know, there's I guess a consensus where sort of the multiple numbers of fish sort of lie. But how do you guys sort of break that down before you go out there?
Yeah, so ideally, mate, I say this even though I haven't really figured it out for this year, but if you can find that low tide spot where you can pluck plenty of fish from, get a hot edge bite, that certainly helps. We're also deep fishermen, so we like targeting those bigger fish as well, anywhere in depths, sort of 6 to 18 metres, mate. You can get some pretty big fish out there this time of year.
Yeah.
So we tend to do that around the high tide and then sort of fish the flats around the lower stages of the tide.
Yeah.
And, mate, it's hard. There's really two ways you can go about it. You can try and target those big fish the whole time, or you can just keep trying to pluck the numbers.
Get the numbers, yeah.
Yeah, which is what a lot of the trolling guys do. And they're quite consistent, mate, the guys who troll, especially if you get a bit of wind up. Whereas the deep stuff, I mean, if it goes off in the deep, you can blow teams out of the water, but that is a lot more hit and miss.
Yeah.
That I think.
Yeah, look, I think, last year, I always sort of, I think, you would have been fishing with Captain's Charters last year, I think, and I think we were up to the jumping pin end and seeing you guys there, so I sort of thought, yeah, we're in the right spot. But you're right, you know, like there was guys fishing the edges, there was guys trolling, especially on that first day. I think a lot of people were catching fish, and you know, I guess the different techniques in how you can catch flathead is a bit of an eye opener when you get up there, because I remember, I think it might have been Team Wilson just trawling past us and just picking up one here, picking up one there, and then we're seeing guys, I think, microblading on edges, and so it was a real sort of eye opener for me to see all the different techniques being used out there.
Yeah, definitely, mate. And I think it comes down to the conditions too, and how it's fishing. Obviously, if you've got a fair bit of wind up, mate, the trolling is probably going to outfish most techniques 9 times out of 10.
Yep.
Whereas if you've got great conditions and you can find those fish stacked up on a hot bite, well, definitely much better fishing plastics along those edges, I think, personally, anyway, mate. And the thing with, I tend to fish up on the northern end, mate. That's just where I've fished my whole entire life.
Yeah.
The problem with up north is the water quality. So that's what's making it pretty hard for me at the moment. The water's pretty dirty.
Yeah.
it's making the bite very inconsistent. Whereas generally down the southern end of the boundaries towards the seaway, you're going to get a fair bit more
cleaner water. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I guess when you're talking about that, you're talking about water that's coming out of the back channels, the back of Jacob's Well, them sort of areas. It does dirty up quite quick, doesn't it?
It does up in the pin, mate, and you throw in a bit of wind with that, you get that sort of wind wash surface as well, which makes it very tough to fish the shallower areas, I've found.
Yeah.
It is pretty clean on the high at the moment, mate, up there. Like, that's not a drama, but as you start getting that run out, it definitely does dirty up. You get a few pockets of clean water here and there, but overall, you probably need to find pretty stacked fish if you're hoping to catch a few in that dirty water.
Yeah, no, that's right. And one thing I noticed from the first year to the last few years that we fished, we found some areas where it wasn't real weedy the first year, and I suspect because we had quite a heavy season of rain and might have killed off some of that weed. Yep. But this year, and then years after, then, that weed returned pretty strong. This year, with all the rain that we've sort of had throughout the year, has that sort of changed or killed off any of the sort of weed edges back up in them particular areas or anywhere else up there?
Mate, I'd say from year to year, I see huge changes throughout the whole pin area. Like, you get not just the weed, it's even the actual bank edges themselves. They get corroded. And you're constantly relearning to fish multiple spots every single year. I haven't found the weed to be too much of an issue, mate. We did get a bit of snotweed coming up down south, which did make it a bit annoying. I didn't really have a problem with that today, to be honest with you, but I remember last week that there was a bit around.
Yeah. Hey, we've just seemed to be getting some funny feedback. Are you in a good area, reception area there? I'm just wondering if it's our gear or the reception.
Hey, it must just be me, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm in a pretty good area, mate.
Okay, no, it might be just us. You wouldn't know. We're on Optus Network here, so we might be struggling a little bit. But yeah. So look, we're just filming down here in the Brushy Pub today, and we're getting people hurraying as they come in. So anyhow, that there, yeah. So look, tell us about some of your results, though, because did you guys take it out or come second there one year?
The 3 years ago, we took out first place in the 3-man team. That was actually my first year ever doing the Classic, mate. I probably should have quit while I was ahead. The following year, we struggled pretty bad. We didn't get that rain, and that tends to make the pin fish quite poorly if you haven't had that rain in the summertime. So we had a pretty ordinary result. I mean, still good result, but for us it was a bit disappointing. And then last year we did pretty good, mate. I think we ended up finishing about 6, which might not sound amazing, but there's a lot of good teams that fish this comp. So if you can sort of get in that top 10, you're doing all right, I think.
Yeah, okay. I guess, yeah, and listening to what you're saying there about how things do change from year to year, I guess it makes it quite hard to, sort of go, oh, do we go here? Do we do there? And you're quite right, because a lot of guys, like the Mick Horns, I can't think of the other guy, Shane Holding, like guys that can just bang the big ones on the seaway. They always seem to find them there consistently every year, even though there might be a few in between. Usually they do get one really good size one out of there, don't they?
They do, mate, and the seaway can fish unbelievable. Our last comp, we actually started there in the morning and then banged a couple of decent fish. So the best thing about the seaway is probably just it's generally going to be a lot cleaner than the pin.
Yeah.
But in saying that, mate, like when the pin fires, it's pretty unbelievable sometimes. Like, I haven't had a session like that in the pin this year, but I haven't really been targeting them out deep a whole lot personally.
Yeah.
I did hit some deep areas. I think it was just a couple of days ago, and I got one that was probably pushing 90 centimetres. So
nice.
There are some good fish out there, but a lot of it comes down to the moon phase as well. So once you start getting past that real full moon, it can get pretty dead out there. You're generally wanting to fish in the lead-ups to the moon phases, I reckon, mate.
Yeah, that's right. The moon phase obviously plays a particular part in that. Look, what's your go-to lures for this sort of stuff? You mentioned plastics. Is that your favourite sort of go-to? And for the punters out there, can you give them some insight of what you're using?
Yeah, sure, mate. I will probably fish plastics more than anything. I have found myself just recently throwing vibes, even in shallow banks as well, just when the water's been quite dirty, and that's probably been out fishing the plastics when it's been windy. But mate, if I can fish those plastics, that's definitely my go-to. So today I probably got all my fish on the little 3-inch S tackle paddle tails. I remember last year worked really well for me was actually the 3-inch slim swims and the fish traps as well. I think they were the only 2 lures I threw the whole entire comp. And individually, I did pretty well. So this year, mate, it'll be a bit of a mix between the S tackle plackies. I kind of want to make a point of throwing lures from all the sponsored. All the sponsors this year. But the S tackle will be my go-to, and then maybe a few fish traps if the water's getting pretty dirty.
Yeah, okay. I think last year in the first day we got up there, and I got an 84 off the edge there, and then we just sort of got the 40s, the 50s. Then it died off quite a bit, and I guess what I seen later on that day when we come back, we still weren't quite getting the fish that we wanted, but a lot of the guys were really up on that edges, and I think they were microblading a lot of that stuff. And I think this year our tactic for our team is fish the stuff in the morning, and then maybe sit back and have a couple of beers and troll in the afternoon. What are your thoughts with that?
Yeah, mate, if the wind comes up in the afternoons, that would probably be a very good tactic. Just for my fishing recently has been very inconsistent, probably the most inconsistent this time of year I've had in a while. So I've been having to change it up a bit, mate, spot hopping a little bit as well. Just to give you an example, like in a 2-day period, I went out for a fish, and one day I scored probably well over 1,300 points by myself, and that was leaving spots firing too. And then the next day I went out all day for 4 fish. So
wow,
it is really hard for me to
get the consistency. Yeah,
because it is all over the shop for me anyway.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? When there's the boat pressure that's about to turn up there, it's only going to be harder again, isn't it?
100%, mate. Yeah, someone in the wavy drift or something like that. I mean, that's just the way this comp goes. You've got a lot of boats out there trying to fish it, so mate, you kind of got to, if you can find areas holding fish, a lot of people aren't going to be fishing. Those places are gold, because they're common spots at the moment where a lot of people fish. There are a lot of fish on those, but if you're sharing them with 10, 20 other boats, well, all of a sudden a stacked area is probably not really that stacked because you're sharing them with so many people.
That's exactly right. And that in the first day, like, it was quite busy where we were, and I think even on the second day, we're seeing you guys doing a lot more moving around, which was probably a good tactic in the fact that there were just things weren't really happening there, I think, on that second day last year, and we went off and done a few different things, and then on the third day we just trolled back down the front, which gave us when I say back down the front towards the seaway, which gave us some, at least a fair few bag fillers, which sort of gets us in that 2 minds around trolling, but it's can be anyone's game, it can be anyone's technique. That's the beauty of it. Now, let's just talk about the Flathead Classic for a minute. I'm going to throw this straight out there, and this isn't a negative comment and all that, but do you think the price of it now is sort of getting to that point where it's sort of getting, and I know why, like, don't get me wrong, I think we all know why it's expensive. If anyone ever goes there, it is top rated show, right? Like, the stand, the musicians, the food, just everything about it. Like, is spectacular. But I assume that the cost of living, the insurances and all the rest, unfortunately, the committee's probably not left with much choice other than to raise the price, aren't they?
Yeah, mate. And as someone who's sort of seen the price rises, there's not a lot you can do. We're probably at the point the committee had to make a pretty hard decision there. Like, obviously, we want to try and make this as cheap as possible, especially for your families, and just trying to get as many people down there as you can. But the price rises, just to give you like one example, the price rises last year, the gazebos just went up $8,000 on their own.
Unbelievable.
And then you've got everything else on top of that as well. So we have been working hard. Danny Sands, he's the club president. He's been working really hard to actually bring that back next year. So we've got a few things planned, mate. So hopefully we can get the price back down. We were talking to the government about some grants and things like that, because it is a very important event for the Gold Coast local economy. So we definitely want to keep it strong. It's one of those things too, like, do you sort of bring back the prestigiousness of the event and try and make it cheaper, or do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, do you go online to try and make it cheaper, but then you're sort of taking away from the event there?
For what the actual event is, and look, anyone that hasn't been there, what it is basically, and you got to remember, this is in the middle of the Gold Coast too. This isn't, no offense to anyone at Coracai, out the back of Coracai or anywhere like that. We're talking in the middle of the pristine Gold Coast, and basically you guys are lucky enough to have a fishing precinct there that occupies, I don't know, probably 3 acres of land potentially for this event. The security fencing going up, security people looking after the entry, the food, the bars. And look, the really cool thing is that we get tackle shops in there, other, industry heavyweights in there with fishing tackle or boating gear. So it's really a celebration of fishing and boating to a point of view, and it's something where the beauty is, like with these sorts of things, like you could be a little kid fishing off the bank and you catch a fish, and then you're in the major prize draws pretty much, aren't you? Like it caters for everyone as well, and I think that's something to remember. So when you're talking about money and bang for buck, I think that's one thing. I guess the other side of it is, which is out of your control as well, is that people have got to get accommodation there in the middle of them school holidays, and I think that's quite hard on the pockets as well, really, isn't it?
It is, mate. And then you've got a few days off work as well, so you can definitely understand it. It isn't the cheapest thing to do, but it's pretty unbelievable event as well. And the prizes you can win are, there's a good couple of $100,000 worth of tackle there, mate. Yep. We've got a couple of boats up there for grabs as well. Yep. So I think the important thing to look at it, because you're essentially going there for 4 days as well. So you divide that amount by 4 days, probably doesn't look quite as daunting, really.
I totally agree with that.
No, and that's a good way to break it down. You look over it over a 4-day event, and it's pretty good.
How I look at it, you look at a 4-day event, but you also look at you're catered for, and you also get a pretty big bag of lures to have as well, don't you?
Yeah, the team bags are pretty good, actually. Get plenty of lures in there and a few other things as well. And then you've also got your major draw prizes. So you get about 20 people that go up, and the prizes are pretty unreal. Like, they start off probably a minimum of $1,000 prize all the way up to a boat. And you've got salmons and kayaks and all sorts of stuff in between.
Are you there?
Yep. So cut out for a second.
That's all right. Yeah, we're just sort of getting that scratchy sort of feedback.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all right. All right. So I guess listening to you and listening to anyone that listens to this podcast that's potentially going to go in, you fish up the north, you use plastics, you sort of jump around, fish deep, fish out, it just depends on the day, right? Is there I guess a dark horse method that you may not do because you're not in the right area that you might be able to throw out to a couple of punters out there?
Yeah, there's something I've been trying recently a bit. Is actually trolling vibes. So just been throwing them back behind the boat and had a session there last week, mate. I actually did pretty well doing that. So great thing about that is compared to your hard body, you can sort of slow down or speed up depending on what depth you are and get the vibe exactly where you want it, as opposed to a hard body, you might be a little bit more those things are going to dive the depth that they want to dive. So that's been working good, mate. Now, of course, doing that, you're going to get a bit of weed and stuff like that. But I had a 10-minute period last week where I probably got, close to 4 50-centimetre plus fish just doing that. So that was quite good. But saying that, I did that the following day, and I don't think I'm going to send the taps. Who knows, mate? But I'll probably definitely give that a crack at some stage during the event.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned or alluded to the Elite Series this year. How'd you go in that?
I think we ended up tied 6 in the final, mate. I think we ended up finishing about 7 for 8 because the 2 other teams caught slightly bigger fish than ours. So I think we might have been about
nice top 10 finish.
Yeah, not too bad. I think we averaged 61 centimetres over our 10 biggest fish, so can't complain, mate.
Yeah, no, that's really good.
Yeah, that's solid 61. What do you reckon? Yeah. What do you reckon we're going to see up here on the Flatty Classic? What do you reckon the biggest flatty's going to be for the 4 days?
Mate, I reckon around that mid-90s mark. That generally is what is required to take that one out. I reckon somewhere around that 94 to 96 mark will win it this year.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, other than yourself, who should people look out for this year? Like, who's sort of getting amongst it there? Obviously, you fish the Elite Series. There's obviously some people that have done pretty well there. They'll probably, if they're going into it, will be able to carry on that form potentially. Who do we look out for?
Oh, mate, there's that many good teams. It's ridiculous. So I think Team Nomad, so you've got Guy and those guys, mate, they are unreal. Local boys, they always do well in the comps. Obviously, Captain's Charters, mate. I won't be fishing in their 3-man team this year. I'll be doing a 2-man Captain's Charters team.
Okay.
Yep.
That'll be good, mate. You've got like Nick White and his brothers. They're excellent out deep. So deep fires, they're going to be very hard to beat. And the Crossed boys as well. So I remember last year they took out pretty much every single flatty comp there was. So they're absolute guns as well, mate. And probably the 2 guys I'm worried about in the 2-man team, probably Mitch and Adam from Team Samaki. Those guys are absolute guns.
Yeah. No, very good. You mentioned, I guess, the soft plastics there before and what you'd be throwing. You've said vibes a few times. Can I ask what sort of vibes you're throwing, I guess, if you're trolling or just fishing edges?
Yeah, I generally throw whatever I've got in the tackle box, mate, but I'll usually
They don't discriminate?
What was that, sorry?
The fish don't discriminate with the blades?
That's right, mate. Yep. No, look, I generally use fish traps. That they sponsored us with the charters, so that was just something I've always used and I've got confidence in. I'm sure the other ones are great too, mate, but I've been throwing the 65 mil fish traps in the shallows there, and then the 95s are pretty good out deep. So some of the boys have been using the bigger ones lately too, and they've been getting a couple of pretty big fish on those ones.
Just give us 1 second. I'll keep you on the line, but I'm going to change a wire out because we seem to just be getting a bit of feedback. Just give me 1 tick. Yep. See if that makes a difference. Sorry, mate.
How's that?
Can you hear us, mate? Ooh.
Yep.
There we go. All right. We don't know whether it could be a cord. We'll just, or it could be our reception, but I've never really heard that before.
Never had that one before.
We usually have a lot of tech issues here. That's gone a lot louder. Do you think that's gone louder?
I think it's gone clearer.
It's gone very clear, hasn't it?
That's definitely clearer.
Okay. Well, I'm going to throw that cord out.
Oh, shit.
Okay. So, Yeah, that sounds heaps better. I don't know what's going on there. Anyhow, let's dive into. You mentioned fishing plastics and fishing deep and all that. Can we sort of ask, like, sort of what techniques? I think you mentioned, like, maybe at the end of the slow out or the tide, potentially. You're looking for consistent, sort of fast run, or you're just looking for a little bit of movement. What are you looking for when you're going out there?
Yeah, when you're fishing the deep and the pin, it really depends on the tide spread. So if you've got slack tides mid sort of moon phase, you can get away with fishing a lot longer through the tide. But mate, if you're getting close to the new full moon and you've got a 2 meter tide spread, then most of these areas you can only really fish around the slacker stages of the tide. So generally, the last of the run out or first in. That's probably the biggest thing, and then structure as well. So, I mean, you're pretty much never going to be fishing deep for flathead and just plain sandy bottoms. Like, you want to try and find those tree stumps and branches and even just your big clumps, drop-off ledges and things like that, mate. And if you can sort of marry that up with good bait popping through as well, then you're probably in the right area.
Yeah. You just
time of year too.
Yeah, that's right. And look, that's something that we found last a couple of years ago. Actually, we were sort of right up on the flats at near the jumping pin there, and there was a whole school of, I don't know what they were. I don't know whether they were like the gar or something. They were quite quick, and they look like gar anyhow. But after that, we sort of put on some like real shallow runner, 85 mil, I think they were like the old Smith, I forget what they were called now, but blood cherry was the colour, and we did pretty well there. But really come back to that bait moving around. And is the bait really, is it quite prominent this year, or is it because of the rain? Has it sort of been a bit hit and miss?
Yeah, so, mate, last year the bait was everywhere, especially sort of that May to June period. The white bait came through the system in really big amounts, and we kind of got that this year, but nowhere near as much as last year. And I was wondering if it had to do, we had stronger westerly winds this year, so has it just sort of pushed everything back out? I don't know, but definitely not as much bait running through the pin area this year. You definitely find some good patches of it in the shallows at the moment, but yeah, it would have been nice to see a bit more, mate. And it's definitely much patchier too. Like, you're not, if you do find a bank that is holding some bait, it's not stacked throughout the whole entire bank. You might just find it in small groups.
Yeah. And that's I guess something that it is hit and miss. I know the first year that we actually fished in a particular area where John Costello was fishing out of my lure box, and I think both of us had quite pretty good success on them couple of days. And but how the environment changes and all that sort of hasn't really allowed us to fish that spot really well the last few years. With the rain though this year, maybe that's
that sandbar's gone.
Yeah, well, the weed off it might be gone. I just want to run through some technical science with you about the Gold Coast, and I'll just say it: snotweed.
Yep. That stuff's great fun. As someone who doesn't troll, I don't mind seeing it because it's the trollers. It's going to affect more than us.
Yeah.
But if I do a bit of trolling this year, it's probably going to be a little bit of a problem. But in saying that, mate, that I found the last couple of days it hasn't really been much of a problem for me.
Okay.
It was last week that there was a lot more of it.
Yeah. And look, there's a general rule, like you stay south of the seaway if you're trolling. And I don't know about up the other end though. Can you avoid it up the other end by being closer to the pin, or is it unavoidable?
It's still there, mate. But I mean, plenty of people troll up in the pin. It's fine. You'll be all right. I mean, as soon as your lure stops vibrating, you're obviously just going to quickly pull it in and get rid of it. It's probably the main reason why I don't really like trolling that much, because of the weed. What I always tend to do, I use quite heavy rods, so I can flick my rod tip very aggressively, and that is quite good at busting through the weed, whereas the guys who fish those sort of more whippier rods, they can't really flick through it
Yeah. Okay. Yep. That definitely makes sense.
Yeah.
We're coming up there on the Saturday now. For a lot of people, this is quite a recreational sort of tournament. Me being one of them. Any suggestions on a good place to go, either Saturday or Sunday on the Gold Coast?
Luke?
Sorry there.
So, yeah, you cut out for a second.
That's all right. Look, because we sort of take it quite recreationally, we're going to get up there on the Saturday. So on the Saturday and Sunday, can you recommend any really good spots to go on the Gold Coast for a can or a chook?
Mate, I know the entrances are fishing very well around the high and low tides.
No,
we're talking about the beer.
We're talking about the beers.
We're talking.
The beers.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, geez, I don't know how much I want to give away.
Yeah, no. You can keep your secrets to yourself, but give us the water holes.
Oh, mate, I like this. Was actually my neighbour who brews for this now, Hound and Stag. So that's his beer.
Mm-hmm.
They're down at Helensvale there, so that's quite a good little pub to go to, mate. He's a great bloke too.
Let me just write this down. Was it Helen Stag? Is it?
Hound and Stag.
Oh, Hound and Stag. Okay, yep. Okay, no, very good. I had to throw in something there like that just to see. I think we might even find time to go play top golf on the Monday or something. But
yeah, that's good fun, mate.
Yeah. But look, we'll probably. I'm actually. I think Monday morning, I'll probably go out for a brimfish actually, then just go for a bit of a brimfish and go do some canal fishing and try a few different things. That
you'll probably catch flathead.
And I'll probably catch flathead. Hey, don't laugh. It's amazing how many flathead sit under them pontoons up there. It's just stupid.
Get some big ones up there too, mate. Definitely.
Yeah. I think they're too and far in between, but yeah. Sorry, what was that? Yeah.
I'd be pre-fishing if I was you, but mate, go for it.
Yeah. No, we'll definitely pre-fish on the Tuesday. I think we'll probably have a look. We'll probably go for a scratch around Monday, but I'm going to make some time just to go for a little sneaky brimfish and maybe just tie on something a little bit better just in case there's a red dog around.
I was about to say go
chase something a bit bigger.
Chase a red dog.
Yeah.
Should be firing up now, I reckon.
That's one thing too. Like it's called the Flathead Classic, but there's prize categories for pretty much every species of fish, isn't there?
Yeah. So you've got Jew, whiting brim, Taylor, and the Jacks.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure there's just the 5, mate.
Yeah. Okay. Righto. Okay. Yep. So even if you get up there, you don't get a trophy flathead. If you get one of them other trophy species, then it goes all right.
Not a bad price pack for them too.
Yeah, no, I can't tell you how many times I've heard of guys in the past they've actually put the winning size, whatever it was, and they haven't entered it. So if you do get a good fish species, chuck it in there.
Yeah, I've learned that pain as well over the years. Anyhow, it is what it is. So, look, now with this comp as well, everyone can sort of launch at a particular time. Not a particular time. It starts at 6.
Yeah, so, I mean, you can launch any time you like, just no lines until 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock, that's right. And you can launch anywhere all over the Gold Coast. So, if you want to fish up north, you can go up to Jacobs Well and launch there. If you want to fish down the bottom, you can go there. You can put in at, you can put in pretty much anywhere. So that's not a drama.
There's lots of ramps up there.
There's lots of ramps, that's it. And anyone that's going up there for the first time, make sure you park in a designated boat parking ramp. The council will not miss you for a fine. I have copped that before in the past, and no, it wasn't real nice. I'm going back years ago, and it was only $85 back then, but I think it's in 3 figures now.
Oh, it should be $185 now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're getting worse, definitely.
So anyone that's listening, just keep that in mind, and just be mindful.
Don't be a mud gudgeon.
Don't be a mud gudgeon. That's it. Anything? All right. Look, mates, we're probably going to wrap that up there today. Thanks for giving us the time to talk about the Flathead Classic. I know that this will be the 31st year, obviously, and 30.
Sorry, mate, it's cutting in and out a little bit.
It's all right. It's all right. It might be where we are, and anyhow, that's okay. And the good old Optus network the old Mud Gudgeon Network. But anyhow, that's all right. Look, thanks for giving us your time today. We really appreciate it. It's really great. Look, you've given us some really great insight into the Flathead Classic. What's required to go really well in it as well, I think. And I'm sure your team and the Captain's Charter crew will probably be up there in the pointy end somewhere.
Hopefully, mate. Who knows?
And if not, I want to
The way
hear.
I'm going,
And if not, I want to hear the disaster stories because there'll be a good one.
there's always plenty of those.
All right. Thank you very much, Bo, and we'll catch up with you when we get there, or when I get there. I'll come say good day in here.
Yeah, sounds good, mate. We'll have a beer.
Excellent, perfect. All right,
good
cheers,
luck,
mate.
Take care, guys. See
Thanks,
you later.
bye. Well, there you go, guys. We've just had Bo on there. Basically, fishing with the Captain's Charters this year, but also on the Gold Coast Flathead Committee. Good insight, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I definitely. I was writing stuff down.
He let a few things. He let a few things out that would be very helpful for some people if it's their first event up there. So
yeah, that's it. So, look, we might. We'll definitely get this up on the Friday, and hopefully anyone going up there will listen to this, and hopefully they'll get some tips out of it.
Yeah, get a handy tip or two, and get a fish on it.
That's it. All right, guys. Hang on.
No.
We've got shirts. Don't forget the shirts. $40. Woo.
Oh, $40 for the shirts.
There we go.
Also, quickly, don't forget we've still got our raffle going, guys.
Yep.
And that our massive
lure pack. Look at that, guys. There it is, all up there. $1 a ticket. Just reach out to us in a message, and we'll give you the bank account details, and then we'll send you through your ticket numbers, and you're in the draw. So just reach out to us. We'll give you the bank account details. Then we'll send you back the ticket numbers by a picture.
Picture
That's
message.
It. That's it. But yeah, awesome lure pack there.
We'll probably run that for another 2 weeks.
Another 2 weeks. Because
you're away for the Flathead Classic. So when you get back from the Flathead Classic, we'll draw it live.
That's it. Perfect. Yeah, we'll do it live. All right. Guys, you've been listening to the Two Pelicans podcast. I'm Mick.
I'm Bo.
And we are the Two Pelicans. Uh-oh.